Hello, beloved Kingdom family. I am your host and coach, Heather Sudbrock. If you're here for the first time or just returning, then you have positioned yourself to invest in your worth and purpose by prospering as your soul prospers. Let's work together and take your vision to provision. Are you ready? Today, we will be digging deep into the internal and learning all about the power of investing in yourself at the level of your worth. What is your internal worth? And why haven't you invested in yourself at this level? Can you invest at the level of your worth? So, firstly, what does it mean to invest? To commit to a financial, moral, and psychological purpose that will yield a greater benefit or return. That's what it means to invest. Have you done that? It took me a while to do that, that's for sure, because I didn't know my value, my level of worth. I didn't know it externally, and I didn't know it internally. Externally, knowing our value and worth in our understanding, especially when our value and worth is low internally, is saying what defines us by what we do. Remember, that's coming from a low internal worth and value to say that. So, what is an internal worth and value that is good? How are we supposed to find this internal worth and value in who we are? It all begins in our identity and knowing who we are. And we're not going to discuss that today. That will be in a future episode. But what we are going to talk about is investing in that worth and that value. But you do have to understand your identity and where you place it before you can define how much worth and value you put in who you are. You understand? So, where do you place your identity? And I will say this, and I'll say it again probably many times, because this is something the Lord taught me, and so it's very valuable. But basically, a great way to test and find where you place your identity, how you identify your worth, is by asking yourself the question, what do I fear losing the most? Is it your marriage? Is it your children? Is it your job? Is it your health? That is where you will find your identity. That's where you'll be striving to save it, maintain it, keep it, pour into it, lay your life down for it. That's where you're going to find your value, your worth, and your identity. And it's all going to depend on that identity. That's why it's so important where you place your identity. And where you place it determines your worth and your value. I want to give you a little bit of an example about investing. It's so interesting because when we look into building out a business plan or creating an at-home business, everybody cringes at making the investment to build a business. But it's interesting because if you choose to go to college for something, then you look at what you want to do, you look at the promise, and you look at the transformation of what you're told you're going to receive by making this investment of time and money to go to college. And usually that promised outcome is something about your career ability. So you're going to go to college and you're going to become a teacher or a doctor, or you're going to become a chef, or you're going to become a scientist of some sort. Whatever it is, that vision, that transformed promise of what you will become by making that investment of time and finance sounds valuable enough to you for whatever reasons that value has been given that worth in your life. So you invest. I want to go to school and be a chef. Why do you want to be a chef? Well, because I'm kind of good at cooking and I don't know. I think I could make money doing it and I probably wouldn't totally hate it. So is my identity in it? Is my value and my worth in it? How much value and worth do I put in it? How much do you think by me answering that will I commit my investment of time and my study focus to achieve that transformation? Probably not very much, right? But let's say I love cooking. I'm just so passionate about it. And when I cook for my family and I see how happy they are, it just gives me so much joy that I want to do this for other people. I want to cook for them. I want to give them joy. And in fact, I've been learning that when you eat certain foods, it can transform somebody's mental state of mind by eating healthier and cleaner. So I want to help people do that. Now, how much do you think I'm going to invest of my time? How much value do you think I place in that identity of being a chef? And so how much time and money am I willing to invest to do it? Because now I have a value and a worth that is more than myself placed on that. And I have an identity that's more than myself that's placed on that as well. Because there's actually a really great desire to serve in that career choice. And because of that, that person will truly invest their financial investment and their mental and emotional and spiritual investment into what they're doing. And that's where you want to get. That's where you want to find and place your investment as well. But it's so crazy how many people will go to college, they'll spend the money, they'll pitter through making the commitment. Like it's just, meh, I'll get through it. It's not an end goal because usually the reasons for choosing to do so are not fully committed. And then after college, they have to work toward earning their way into that position they went to college to qualify for. So, most oftentimes, when you get out of college, you are not even qualified for what you went to school for by the time you get to the end of it. And then you owe money, you owe payments toward that investment for many years afterwards. And usually you're not making enough money to barely even pay that off. That's why there's so many people who have so much college debt right now because of that massive investment that they still haven't paid off and then they don't have the passion to continue it and most of them will even change their college career choices a year or two out of being out of college and they're highly disappointed and now they're depressed and sad and frustrated and they lose their lack of worth on a whole different level because now they failed at the one thing that they should have qualified and had expertise in and now they don't feel like they do. So there's just this massive, sad, depressive state that comes over them. And then this is what most people live with. And that's why when they start having ideas, and they may be very good ideas, and they start thinking about investing in a coaching course or a mastermind or a high ticket investment, they think, oh, no, I can't do that because what if I don't finish it? What if what if it doesn't give me the outcome that I think it should? Then I'm going to waste money and really I could just save that money and keep my low paying job wherever I'm at and just get by. At least I won't have that debt. But I also won't have that transformation or that process. But you know what? That's okay. It feels safer this way. But we have to shift our mindset and we have to shift our value and our worth. And that all begins with our identity. But then we'll be able to understand the value of what we're investing in. And then we'll be able to commit to it. When you commit to something that you consider valuable, you will succeed. That's that. You will succeed. Think of one thing, anything, even if it's the smallest thing that you ever thought was valuable and worth investing in. Even if it was somebody who you really liked and you pursued them to date them. You thought that person was worth it. They were worth the fight. Then you put everything you had into it. And if you failed in attaining that person, then you were crushed because you put everything you had into it and then you failed because that other person has a free will as well. And so they can turn you down, right? But when you're putting everything into the right identity, not into someone else's identity, someone else's dreams, someone else's vision, someone else's idea of who you should be and what you should do, but into what God created you to do and God created you to be, then you can put everything into it in a commitment level and an investment level of time and finance, and you will succeed every time. If your identity is where it should be and your worth and value are understood by you, because then you'll be in position to succeed. So, college is mind blowing to me because so many people invest in it without any identity or value. And then they fail. And then they're so frustrated afterwards. And all their dreams, hopes, and visions of anything else that they ever had, they count it as not worthy because they failed at that experience. And it's a dream crusher for so many. And it's really sad to me. I mean, I experienced it as well in my past for the same reason. So I'm speaking from that place of being there before. But I just want to encourage you that as you join me in this community, in this journey of learning these internal and external ways of prospering, it truly is, as the word says, that as your soul prospers, you will prosper. And so many of us, our souls, which is our mind, our will, and our emotion, they're very hurt and damaged. And so the external is showing hurt and damage in our responses and in our actions and in our choices and in our investments. I would like to ask, how have you invested in your worth? And I encourage you to really think about that. Maybe even make a list. How have you invested? At what level have you invested? Did the level you invest match the level of what you believed your worth was in that area? Have you invested in a dream for the right reasons? Not because that dream was your identity, but because you understood the worth and value of the transformation you could create by achieving that dream. And that for the right reasons of having a financial, moral, and psychological purpose, as the explanation of an investment is, and an end benefit with a yield in mind. So many times I think we try to achieve things and we don't think of what we're going to yield from it or benefit from it, or what anybody else may yield or benefit from it when we do it, because we're just getting by. We're working from a place of exhaustion and desperation and just struggling to get by to the next day, pay the next month's bills, get the next month's groceries. And that mindset keeps us trapped. It keeps us locked so that we can't grow, we can't scale, we can't dream bigger, and we can't invest in those dreams because that mindset keeps us stuck there. Or have you invested for the wrong reasons, out of desperation, peer pressure, or a fear of lack, as we just discussed? If you're a worthy investor for the right reasons, a worthy investor is somebody who invests understanding their value and what they're investing in. Then what was your yield? What did you get from that investment? If you did make a worthy investment, let me know in the comments by saying, I'm a worthy investor. And then tell me how much you invested if you feel okay to share that, and what you reaped from that investment. And if you've just dabbled in, say, $97, $297, $497 courses, teachings and trainings and memberships, then let us know and tell us what like the benefits and the yield and the harvest was from that. And say, I'm a dabbler and this is how much I've invested. This is the ones I finished. This is the ones I reaped a yield from. Because oftentimes when we dabble, we don't always finish everything. I know, I've been a dabbler before too. And we don't always finish everything. Oh, I paid $197 for that course and I got through most of it and I realized I don't really think I need all of it. And I don't even know if I want to go in that direction anymore. Because when you dabble, you don't fully commit. So you don't invest. It's not an investment in your understanding. So you're not fully committed. When you invest, you're fully committed. If you haven't yet invested, perhaps you're afraid to invest in the wrong thing and you're afraid you won't reap a harvest or yield any benefits, then post in the comments and say, I'm still a dreamer, and let us know why you haven't invested and what are you waiting for. That might help you clarify that as well by just even writing that out. Even if not in the comments, write it for yourself. And if you're struggling with finding a clear goal that you desire to achieve, perhaps you're also struggling with your value and worth and even your identity. In our next video, which will be an external training, which will be about the business end of building out your vision. But then after that, we'll have another internal training, and that's where we'll be discussing identity. So let me close out by saying this. If you know that you have something that can change someone's life, that can transform an outcome for them, that excites you to help them do that, then I want to invite you to check out our MVP to Prosper Masterclass. Because even if you're still wrestling with knowing what you should do or getting clarity on what that is, your MVP can help you understand that. And then you can make a choice to invest in your purpose once you understand that. And the MVP is your message, your voice, and your platform. When you have clarity on that, then you get clarity in your identity and you get clarity in your worth and your value, because you can't share a message until you understand that. I won't go any further. I want to tell you right now, but not yet. So make a choice to invest in your purpose. Once you finish the MVP to Prosper Masterclass, you'll be given an invitation to join our Reign and Joy Mastermind Plus. And this is our high ticket investment offered at the end of that masterclass. And by investing in our Reign and Joy Mastermind Plus, you will get help in building out your offer. You'll get group coaching, you'll get one-on-one troubleshooting and guidance throughout, and not have to worry about getting stuck along the way. Because we want you to succeed. And this Mastermind Plus has been created to assure that by following our system, you will have a successful system too. We're committed to making sure your high ticket offer launches to success, and that by following our system, you will have success. But we're committed, and you need to be committed too. And if you're ready now, then book your free call with me below, and we can discover the blueprint that'll work best for you. and make sure that we're a great fit working together as well. Because sometimes we can be, sometimes we might not be, in which case, I might have some people to guide you toward that can be a better fit for you. Because I want to make sure you succeed, even if it's not with me. The next video is an external training, so make sure to hit the subscribe button below for the new videos and access to our live hot seat sessions and Q&A. And sign up below if you want to bring your struggle to the table for a hot seat and get on the live with me and get help. Remember, at Rain and Joy, by solving the internal, we overcome the external. Until the next training, beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers.